Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is Play Dead Live Faction Battles, Vox versus Ark, Take 2. Hopefully we get everybody in the stream. Hopefully it works for connection this time. If you guys missed the 25-minute preamble a minute ago, we're trying to get everybody connected. So we had good bundles, good conversation, a lot of announcements, and now we're ready for some PvP action. But we are going to give everybody just a couple minutes to log on to make sure that they have a chance to get in and everybody can hear us loud and clear. Jim, are we coming through loud and clear this time? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. A lot of people are getting kicked out of the stream. Huh. Yeah, I mean, Jim says she's getting a black screen. That is bizarre. Amy, I'm coming through loud and clear. All right. So Amy's got me loud and clear. Albert's back. Yeah, there seems to be a pretty serious iPhone issue going on all of a sudden. I don't know. I guess we could check Google and see if there's some known issues going down. They had to do this on our you hear me fine and then it went black. Wow. Okay. Look, I don't want to push this to tomorrow, but I do want to make sure we've got everybody here and ready to go. All right. Sheila Beasley says loud and clear. All right. Okay, so let's do a quick speed check for everybody again. One more time. If you guys can all do me a favor. 999 in chat. Make sure everybody is hearing us in real time before we jump into our pre-match buffs. So, sorry. I didn't even say anything that sounded remotely like Siri, and she just like chimed all in on my conversation. Crazy, man. She's like, okay, I found this on the web. All right, you know what? Hopefully we found a workaround. I'm trying, man. I'm here for you guys. This is what I do. Just got an awesome match set up tonight that I can't wait to get into. Aw, that's kind of nice. She said I was missing your voice. It probably was a little bizarre, all these things up on the screen and then no voice. All right. It looks like everybody is loud and clear. I know we're off to a late start, but, you know, we want to do this the right way because there's a lot on the line tonight. You know, we can't be halfway doing this when we got such a big matchup between two powerhouses. So Valar's still having some issues. Okay. And Trigger's having issues. And Gina. Where's Gina? I know Gina was having some fiber optics. All right, you know what? I hate doing this with such a big night, but you guys know the way faction wars are going to go, and if we are working on this for 45 minutes, we're not going to be through till 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to try to make an executive decision. Can the teams, who can commit to being here tomorrow night? I just don't want to keep you guys. If both teams can agree to reschedule this for tomorrow night, I'm down. I'll hang out with you guys. We'll talk about the game. But if we don't kick this thing off until 10 o'clock, it's going to be yeah, I mean, we're not going to finish till 2 o'clock in the morning. And I don't want teams to get the worst of each other. All right. All right, I'm going to call it. And like I said, we can hang out, sing, dance, do whatever you guys want to do. I've got all the stats ready to go. So I don't know. I want to apologize for YouTube, but I don't know what to say because it's very... No, don't. Like I said, I'm ready to go. Either way. Okay. Yeah, it's bizarre, for sure. Well, what's weird is it's kicking people out, which makes no sense whatsoever. Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening. Sorry. I'm singing Harry Styles for you guys. It's an inside joke. The mods know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. I told the mods today my pandemic hairstyle went from Chris Hardwick to Norman Reedus to Harry Styles, all in a couple of months. Yeah, it's it's a lot of inside jokes there. I got nothing. I got nothing going on. So she's gonna wargo her phone. Well, that's one way. Jim's gonna set up the phone and wargo it. I had my script ready for tonight. I was all ready to. I wasn't even gonna say Julia Muse. It was just gonna be the assassin. Like every time she attacked, it was gonna be the assassin. All right, I do have your lineups, so I'm just gonna ask you guys, don't share those with anybody. We don't want word to get out of who's high, who's low, who's what order people are going in. So keep all that stuff, between your teams and not discussed in general chat or anything else. Because I think there's some really good strategies for tonight. So there were a few twists and turns that I was looking forward to seeing. So you guys will see that tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Moon, it'd be the same thing. I would do an exhibition, but 5 or 6 people, it'd probably be like, one of those exhibition matches where it took forever. Yep. So apparently a lot of skipping with the streams. Now I'm not talking right now. So some people are probably going to be like, why does it keep getting quiet? Because I have nothing scripted. We're just hanging out. So this stream will not make it. I see you, Jim. Yeah, I mean, you know what? We can just make this kind of a freestyle for a little bit. If you guys, let's do some Q&A. I mean, you guys have any questions? I'll tell you, Friday night's going to be a big problem for you guys because it's going to be spooky. It's going to be some spooky stuff Friday night. I mean, we're rolling into a brand new chapter. It's a very good story. It's almost down to my shoulders, Amy. I mean, I typically don't have super long hair, but yep. It's certainly a different look for me. No, not a mullet. No, thank you. So, I do have an idea. I'm not going to do it tonight, and I want to get kind of some honest feedback on this because this is something I'm thinking about doing late. I was going to test it, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer. And those of you who watch the channel for a long time, you guys know that Dimes will like this. I'm big on just taking a topic and then, we assess it and talk about it and break it down. So it's a small segment. I may roll it out in one of our random things chats. And it's called DWA. And it's going to be debate without anger because so many debates now are just polarizing. And it's not going to be politics. It's not going to be anything people argue over. But it's going to be kind of in the structure of Football Masters mentioned, when are we going to do trivia? So I was thinking about brackets and a debate contest. Friendly debate, where you make your argument and other people kind of watch you make your argument and it doesn't get overly passionate. And you guys probably caught this maybe a couple weeks ago. Okay, well, let me put it this way. So, in the past, I've had social media accounts that had a lot of fake friends. People I didn't really know. People that weren't even involved with the channel. I think for a while, it's kind of like a game to get as many Twitter followers and Facebook friends as you can get. And then I kind of went blackout where the count just died, basically. But there were just a lot of people I didn't know, 5,000, 6,000 Facebook associations, we'll call it. And then with gaming, the people that I friend for the most part are involved with the game. But there's still a lot of very strong opinions that show up on my news feed. And in some cases, it makes you stop and say, well, okay, it's okay for us to have disagreements, but when things are to an extreme that it's offensive, then I can't be friends anymore. I hope you guys understand that. It's like, I understand gray area, and I'm okay with gray area, but it is when something is blatantly sexist or racist, or that I can't stomach it, if that makes sense. To me, at that point, it's not your right to have an opinion. It's disgusting. And when things show up that are disgusting, and I'll give you an example. About 3 months ago, when did Kobe Bryant died? And I apologize. I mean, I remember the stream. I don't remember the date. But shortly after Kobe Bryant died, one of our members not just a subscriber, one of our members was doing something with like a drone or something and crashing it and making Kobe Bryant jokes. And that was enough for me. I didn't think it was funny. I didn't see even the remotest. And then he messaged me and said, you should have told me or whatever. I didn't need an explanation. Okay. I didn't need your rationale. We're just not friends because I can't, it's too much trouble for me to justify that behavior and to be friends with you. And it was somebody that had been part of the channel for a long time. But to me, that was like the death penalty, right? You just got to go. So I'm not a fan of relishing in making jokes at the distress of other people. So and I'm going to get to my point in a second. You guys will see what I'm talking about. Because like I said, this is just kind of some open mic stuff. We'll just chat. But a couple weeks ago, I made a post, and a couple people said, I never see you post on your personal account. And it was kind of like a status. And it was something that I think caused some questions for a few people. And I wanted it to. I wanted to send a message that I don't control your personal opinions, but you have to understand that if it is something that just blatantly targets somebody or calls somebody stupid for a generic opinion, I can't do that. And I'm not saying that my friendship should be cherished. I'm not that vain. But what I'm saying is I have a right to it, right? I have a right to make that decision. So it was extreme. So I just removed them. And then I had some people saying, why don't you just block them? You can still be friends with them. And I'm like, well, why would I want to do that? What's the point of having being attached or being associated with somebody that is just cruel? How about that? Why would I want to block out their post just so I could say I had one additional friend? I don't need friends that badly. I don't. And that's why I want to tie this in, is it used to be a competition of you look on somebody's Facebook page, and if you got 3,000 or 4,000 friends, that's like a status. And I went from that to like, I don't want any. I'm just okay with starting over. And then when you start over, you find out that there's still some things about people that they just kind of expose. So to make an extremely long story that I'm talking about right now more relevant, is the one thing I've prided our channel on. For the most part, we can disagree and debate things without them becoming controversial. So what I'm looking at with this debate without anger is, one, I think it's fun to debate. And I think it's fun to argue over things to make a point. Like me and Kel do it all the time. You guys see it on here, right? With the whole Negan thing. In some streams, she just kind of goes on and on and on. And then I just kind of shut it down. But it's like, no, I don't like Negan. But that's kind of the fun part of debate, is when you can talk about it and it doesn't become personal. So, one, I'd like to make it a competition and have an audience sort of judge it and chime in. Two, I want to teach inexperienced debaters how to make a point to people without getting angry and making it personal. Because I do think there are people, I don't want to say that can be salvaged, because that sounds too, like too almighty, all-controlling. But I think there's some people that can learn to have fun disagreeing, if that makes sense. Deadly Dimes. I love having discussions with you, Kills, even when our opinions differ. People need to respect each other no matter what. Being disrespectful or cruel. I agree with that, Dimes, and I think that's what I want people to do is learn to lose, right? When you can learn to lose graciously, it helps you win. And I'm not talking about lose on purpose. if me and Dimes right now, I'll give you an example. So, and I'm not sure of the complete format. So Dow, what is the greatest video game ever made? Greatest video game you've ever played, bar none. That you would put that down right now, that there's nothing more fun than that game. Now, Anthony says Final Fantasy X. You know what? That ain't bad. Albert says Black Ops. Dow says Final Fantasy VII. So what I would do is I would set up a format, and like I said, it's going to take some work. But to be able to make an argument that people can see your argument with some facts, with some data, because what will happen a lot of times is people cop out to their argument. They'll say, well, no, because it's the one that I love the best. And I want to create a debate where you can start to influence other people and make a case. And maybe in some cases people are like, no, I get, thanks for your opinion, but yeah, it's not fun at all. And you try to appeal to the masses, whether it's making a point about a band, a movie. See, like if I ask you guys right now, what's the best horror movie ever made? Now, I wouldn't ask everybody. What I would do is I would have two people square off with that topic. So I may have like Julia and Amy, and then all the rest of us would sort of be moderating. We would put our opinions in. And I think, one, we're going to learn about other things that maybe we don't know. We're also going to chime in. And at the end of it, we're going to take a vote, and somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. Ron says Nightmare on Elm Street. See, a lot of people said Halloween. Saw. Nobody said Scream. Not one person said Scream. Blair Witch was absolutely not the best ever made, Anthony. It gives you a headache. You watch the whole movie and the camera's shaking. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to make your argument that, okay, well, they did it for like $20,000, so it was the best because it made the most profit. No. It was, I can't use the word garbage in a debate, but I can say refuse. I mean, I can say it was not the best movie ever made. But I would do that in a polite way, and then Anthony would kind of give, a bounce back of what. So what made the Blair Witch Project the best movie? So it's going to combine a little bit of our trivia. It's going to combine a little bit of kind of that debate, that we have fun with. Then it's going to have like the competition, and it's also going to give us, some of the best streams we've done is the best of, where we're kind of there. But I think I'm going to kind of sample it with just a couple people in one of the random things, and if it works out really, really well, that's the way we did trivia, right? We started out trivia, and we just had a few people chime in. The next thing you know, we were doing trivia tournaments, where we'd get together on a Monday or Tuesday night, and we'd have 16, 32 people, and they would square off in trivia. I think it's also going to give a nice mix of different genres. You know, you got Timothy saying Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then Anthony saying Blair Witch. So Anthony says he was scared when he got home, slept with the light on for 2 days. What do you guys think? How many people, not necessarily do you agree with Anthony, how many people thought Blair Witch Project was a scary movie? I got to tell you, I didn't think it was scary because I had such a headache when I was watching it. The shaking of the camera was so distracting. It was hard to follow. So most people would not vote Anthony forward. Now, I'm going to ask, if Anthony said the Blair Witch Project and I said The Exorcist, how many people would agree that the original Exorcist was creepy perverse, and scary as hell? So this probably would be a good example of how I would have just advanced in the debate tournament, and Anthony would have gotten KO'd in round number 1. This wouldn't have even been a debate. So when you bring the debate, now you know what was creepy is, and I don't know, it's the head spinning around was one thing, but when her legs just swelled up. It's one of those things like the Negan scene you watch one time. Like, I don't remember a lot of it, to be honest with you. I remember the one scene where it like went to her legs, and then that was creepy. So this is where, when there's a debate question, you've got to think of something that is sort of outside your element. See, I think that would make a strong debate. Let's say, and to be perfectly honest with you, I think, and none of you are going to agree with this, I think Scream was one of the best scary movies ever. But if I were debating that, I would not debate Scream to the masses. I would say, for me, the other one, and I recommended this to someone today, is Happy Death Day. Because I think the way it's written, the creativity, but I probably would not try to make those cases in a debate. The Ring, I would. The Ring, I think you could make a strong case for, Albert. But I think Scream, because one, it was done at a time, you know, it was that whole time like, I know what you did last summer, but there was honestly, before Scream, there was like a lull in horror movies. There had been good horror movies, and then it just seemed like there was a number of years where there just wasn't. And then Scream sort of kicked that horror genre back off a little bit. And it did it with a nice twist. Where, you know, whodunit type of thing. So it almost felt like the resurrection of horror with a little bit of that mystery to it. And then there were a lot of spin-offs, right? A lot of different things. But So I probably, okay, maybe Scream wouldn't be terrible for me to debate. Here's another example. If we were talking about, so everybody here, well, actually not everybody. So Deadly Dimes and Gemstone. Dimes and Gemstone. The two of you type best vocalist, male or female, of all time. Best singer. And then other people are going to have their opinions. But if you had to make an argument, and the question is, are you going to be able to back up that statement? Because that's a powerful, powerful topic. Certainly, if I personally said it, I would say Rob Thomas. But you guys know it's kind of an ongoing joke. And I know everybody's not going to see that point of view. So if I had to make an argument to the group, I could probably say Stevie Nicks. I would make a strong argument. Well, you can't do that, Dimes. All right, she just won. It's like, how did you do that? How was I saying that while you typed it? That's weird. That's weird, scary. Now, do I personally think Stevie Nicks is the greatest singer of all time? Maybe not. Kurt Cobain, no doubt. Freddie Mercury. Ron, I could make a strong argument for Freddie Mercury. Chris Cornell, absolutely. I think you could make a strong case for Lady Gaga. But then the question is going to be, who are you going to make that case for? And right now it's kind of freestyle, right? A lot of people are giving a lot of different topics. But if you only had those two, if Gemstone, okay, so Gemstone says Lady Gaga, and look, everybody's got an opinion, right? So let's debate Lady Gaga versus Stevie Nicks. Right? Dime said Stevie Nicks. So if you had to support either person's argument, so Dimes, what is it that makes Stevie Nicks, in your mind, the greatest vocalist in the history of music? Some people would say her voice is unique. Some people would say she sounds like she had a few too many cigarettes. So if you're going to make the case that greatest vocalist of all time, right? Somewhere out in the back of your mind, there's your real life and the life that you know. Kind of like that. Sorry, that's my raspy Stevie Nicks voice. I know it's not perfect, but because I do love me some Fleetwood Mac and I do love some Stevie Nicks. But that doesn't mean that everybody's going to Well, you know what else? You have her and Don Henley, right? I mean, if you got to push on your Adam's apple when you do it. Love us forever, face to face. That's actually closer. That's not bad. You in the moonlight with your sleepy eyes. Could you ever love a man like me? You know, I don't know. That might be the wrong lyrics, but it's close enough. You get the gist of it. Julie Muse says, Lady Gaga, too many antics. So, but see, here's the challenge. The challenge is for everybody to debate one or the other. Now, it's okay to throw. I agree with that. Bloodfish says Janis Joplin was better than Nix. I don't disagree with that at all. I think Janis Joplin was great. Now, if you really want to go based on raspy, unique voices, I mean, why wouldn't you throw Bonnie Tyler in there? Dimes. There you go. See, Jim Stone says, best voice, not antics. Good point. That's a great point. So, if you just didn't watch what Lady Gaga did, and you only listened, but again, it's a heartache, nothing but a heartache. I mean, it's almost like my Stevie Nicks voice. But how many people, look, I understand the raspy voice, but I do have to say, it's a heartache and Total Eclipse of the Heart, to me, doesn't sound like the same person. Like, Barry Gibb sort of made that same voice even when he, was like 70. But Bonnie Tyler somehow lost the raspiness later on when she went a little bit more pop. When she was like semi-country, yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying she faked it, but it certainly sounded like a little different voice. I see you, Bloodfish. Once upon a time I was falling in love, but now I'm only falling apart. Nothing I can do, a total eclipse of the heart. It just didn't sound quite the same. I mean, I love it. Crystal Gale, great choices. Great choices all the way around. I'm a little surprised, though, when you guys... Because, look, we're kind of on both sides, male and female, and I just left it kind of open-ended for everybody. But no Whitney Houston? I mean, how would Whitney Houston not be in the conversation? Well, there you go. See, that's weird. All right, Bonnie, you and Dime's just getting too weird. It's like, you guys are typing it while I say it. First it was Stevie Nicks, and then, bam, then Bonnie types Whitney Houston. Paul Abdul. Ron. Ron, would you like to remain a part? If you want to remain a part of our streams, Paula Abdul. Next, I guess you're going to want to see Keanu Reeves in one of her videos. Come on, man. Paula Abdul as one of the greatest vocalists of all times. Straight up, Ron. I'm not saying not a good song. Good song. I mean, next you're going to be telling me Little Bow Wow is the greatest vocalist of all time. Well, see, there's the key word there, Dow. Good. Dow says, come on, Kill, she was good. Good and greatest of all time, not even in the same category. This is going to be the challenge when we start debating, is you can't just throw a random name out there. It's going to be impossible. I don't disagree, Moonshot, that you could make a strong argument for Elton John. Absolutely. Would I make the argument for Elton John? Probably would not be my first choice of greatest of all time, but could you debate that? Absolutely. I agree with that. Because, at one time it's like, when are you going to come down? When are you going to learn? Should have stayed on my own. I should have listened to my old man. And, you get that one time, and then you get Goodbye, Norma. I mean, I agree. Elton John probably sounded like 4 different artists, and every one of them sounded good. Julia, I would say Tom Petty is the Stevie Nicks of male vocalists. I know that's probably a bad example. No. Bob Seger? Come on. Moonshot says Bob Seger. I'm putting you in the Paula Abdul category. Bob Seger is Ron's Paula Abdul. Nothing wrong with Bob Seger. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, great band. Greatest of all time? No. Prince, I would make a strong argument of Prince. I love some Bob Seger songs. Every time there's like a Chevy truck in a commercial, I think of Bob Seger. I think with Prince, what you kind of go back to what Julia did with Lady Gaga's antics. See, Prince is the opposite. His antics made him, I think if you take his antics out, it's harder to make a case as him being one of the greatest vocalist of all time. I would not, on voice alone, I would not say he's the greatest. He's impressive, but he's such a showman and he was so good at all the other stuff. I think that added to the voice. And you guys he really wanted to be Batman. Anthony says Simon Le Bon, great range even now. Duran. Anthony, I can't do that. I know you love Duran, and don't get me wrong, Duran, slightly better than good. I don't know that Duran would even be one of the greatest bands of all time, much less Simon Le Bon being the greatest singer of all time. I mean, you could make an argument for... See, here's the other thing you got to take out. You could say John Lennon, right? But John Lennon had a very, very smooth voice. All the Beatles were great songwriters. But would you say John Lennon is the greatest vocalist of all time? I would argue no. Same thing. Pink Floyd, David Gilmour, Syd Barrett. Great singers, great songwriters. Greatest of all time? No. I mean, next, look, we've already gotten Bob Seger, Paul Abdul. Somebody's going to say Paul Stanley from Kiss next, right? And I'm going to veto that. The fun of a debate is taking the personal side out of it and really getting it down to something that you think would appeal to the masses, that you could make that argument. And that's why I said you got to take your personal bias out of it, which is very hard to do when you debate something. Because a lot of people, okay, let me ask this. How many people have typed more than one name? That already shows you right there. Everybody here has typed multiple artists. If you typed one and you stayed true to that the whole time, then I would give you bonus points and say, yeah, okay, you're saying that's the greatest and you're sticking with it. You guys can't even decide who the greatest is. How are you going to make the argument to somebody else? Because eventually you're going to get one that everybody's like, yeah, that's a good one. But the challenge of debating it is you got to come up with that early. You can't just kind of, flip around. You can't talk about great voices without mentioning the top-selling solo artist of all time, Garth Brooks. Well, let me see how I want to approach this. I mean, I think it would be easy Well, one, Kel, I would say Kenny Rogers. I would argue that Kenny Rogers is every bit as good as Garth Brooks. Maybe not your cup of tea, but I think if you put voice to voice and you put Kenny Rogers' voice, or if you put Johnny Cash's voice, how many people would argue that Johnny Cash was a better vocalist than Garth Brooks? I see you, Rocket. Internet connection is in and out. Well, some of it is an acquired taste. I mean, I could make an argument for Rob Thomas, but not everybody likes Rob Thomas, so I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if, there was like a Toby Keith or somebody that was popular for a while, and then, well, here you go. Now, I don't know this personally. It wasn't my era. Maybe some of you it was your era. But I've heard George Jones was pretty good. And I've actually heard a couple George Jones songs. Yeah, and I think George Strait. Now, look, I don't know a lot about George Strait, but you know what? I'm willing to debate that. I'm willing to learn. But I think, I think when you get to the whole Garth Brooks thing, it's about looks and antics. I've heard his songs, and I don't know if everybody's being completely honest in a debate. I don't know that you're going to put Garth Brooks up there and just say, his vocals are just so much better than this person, this person, and this person. When you start talking about the greatest, there are other things that help people sell besides just their voice. Gemstone, you ask who's the best voice. So voice quality has nothing to do with best song or musicality. Best voice is tone, range, vocal control from a speech pathologist. Well, to a degree. But again, Jim, I think when you get to best voice, it's not just about tone, range, vocal control. Because that's still going to impact people differently. I don't think there's just a scientific method. I'm not talking about the best voice without cracking. And I do think the way certain people sang some songs, you could have two people with the same range and the same tone, but sing a song completely different. So I think to a degree, yes. And I'm not trying to debate your profession. I believe that. But I think that's what the challenge is extracting. If two people sing, if Lady Gaga were to sing a song and Whitney Houston were to sing a song, I do think it's going to affect people differently. And that's when you get into the showmanship and again, if you ask me best performer, I would certainly I would put Prince up there, and Prince might have had all of those things that you checked, all those different criteria. Some of it. I didn't read the exact same thing, but Bloodfish, I like Garth, but if you had Johnny Cash, George Strait, John Michael Montgomery sing the songs Garth wrote, they'd be more popular. I think that's a strong statement. Very true. But there's two ways to win a debate. And one is to appeal to the people judging the debate, and one is to be able to articulate your personal experiences to a degree where people completely see your point of view. And I think, and then there's the third, which is kind of the let me throw a strong opinion out there, and it's my way or the highway, and people accept it or they don't accept it. And I think that's certainly the challenge of debating. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's really what all of this open chat is meant to do. So what happened to summon snakes? They're there. Yeah, snakes are still a part of the game, Bloodfish. Well, see, Sheila, that's the point of our streams. Ramble on. So, what made Bob Marley such a popular singer? I know people say, no. What was it that Bob Marley had? I would agree with that. I think Louis Armstrong, certainly unique. But I would argue that Jimmy Cliff was a much, much better vocalist than Bob Marley. But didn't have quite the same mainstream appeal. Unforeseen. I love all kind of music. Kane Brown, Lady Gaga, certainly. So how many people, CCR, Leonard Skinner, I will say this, Deadly Dimes is raising you right. That's all I got to say. I'm not taking the bait, Moonshot. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing with the Post Malone thing. And I'm not going to mumble rap, no matter how much you try to bait me. Because, believe it or not, I did find a Post Malone song it's pretty good. And I want you guys to listen to it. It's called Take What You Want. And it is Travis Scott, Post Malone, and Ozzy Osbourne. Because when I heard about that track, I was like, wait a minute. If Post Malone can get Ozzy Osbourne on a track, it's good. Because look, don't get me wrong. The first 50 Post Malone songs I heard were something along the line of, she my baby mama, mama, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he just says it over. I don't know. It's like, I know she got a man, but I'm going to be her man. It's like the same tone and the same thing over and over. I'm sorry if you're a Post Malone fan. I tried. But then the Hollywood Bleeding, there's a couple songs I was like, you know what? It's pretty good. But yeah, there were like 5 or 6 songs, and I was like, oh my God. It's the same song. And I really, really appreciate a varying degree of music. And I didn't know, like, I can't consider Post Malone, I don't know. What style? What style are we going to call Post Malone? Because I don't see it as, it's not rap. Like, it doesn't feel like rap. It just feels like talking to a rhythm with some music in the background. I mean, rap is like Run DMC, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop. That's rap. Post Malone is certainly something different. I mean, look, I agree. I'm trying to appreciate his music a little more. I really like that song. So even though I'm not a fan of Post Malone, as Moonshot was trying to bait me, I can certainly appreciate some of his music. But I didn't check out. I'd heard a couple of songs and I didn't check out on it immediately. It wasn't like, okay, this guy is not my cup of tea, so I'm not going to give him another chance. And as much as I don't openly support country songs. I'm the same way. Like, I'm not a big country fan, but I'll hear a country music. I don't turn it off. It's like if I hear something that appeals to me, like that Georgia, Florida group, whoever they are. Yeah, they had a song I liked. And then there's this group called I don't know, maybe it's Wildflower or something like that. I don't think you guys ever heard of them. I don't even know if that's their name. It's like California to Tennessee or something. It's just you got to catch the right song at the right time. And that was the one country song I liked. And then Kale's like, oh, that's the worst country song you could like. I tried. I mean, wouldn't you guys think that the Eagles would be country music today? Is Chris Jansen the one that sang that, I can fix a drink? I can fix a drink and pour it over ice. I can drink it all and make you feel nice, or something like, is that who it is? Well, all right, first of all, I can probably give you a whole list of Eagles songs that would be country. New Kid in Town would be a country song. Peaceful Easy Feeling would be a country song. Lion Eyes. Okay, listen to it. City girls just seem to find out early how to open doors with just a smile. That's country. If you put that song out today, it's country. I'm sorry. Or, I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. That's country. I don't care. I don't care what it sounded like 20 years ago. If that was played today, Desperado, it would not be. That's not even classic rock. It would be country. I love the Eagles. But that just would not be would not be classic rock. Classic rock would be like Nazareth. That's classic rock. Rolling Stones, classic rock. The Eagles, you know what? What's the difference between the Eagles and the Oak Ridge Boys? Honestly. Nothing. I mean, AC/DC, that's classic rock. Well, yeah, Paychecks, that's probably. Yeah, listen to the Eagles tonight. You know what? Listen to the Eagles and then put on the Statler Brothers. Counting flowers on the wall, that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me. You know, yeah. Lyrics are different, but the vibe is still the same. Give me, other than like Life in the Fast Lane, give me an Eagle rock song. It's a rock song by the Eagles. It make you feel like you're playing that and you're rocking. I'm going to go rock out some Eagles. You know what Jim Stone say? See, here you go. Here's the difference. Like Jim Stone said, I'm going to go listen to some Eagles tonight. Yeah, see, that's what you do with the Eagles. You go listen to it. You don't rock out to the Eagles. Life in the Fast Lane, right? All right, go play New Kid in Town, and then go play Leaving Louisiana by the Oak Ridge Boys. There's talk on the street, it's there to remind you. Great expectations, everybody's watching you. People you meet, they all seem to know you. Even your old friends treat you like you're someone new. Don't tell me that's rock. Come on. Just because it had a rock label many years ago, nobody would consider that rock. Right? Oak Ridge Boys. Even Oak Ridge Boys had songs that you could consider more rock than the Eagles. Mary went to running with a traveling man. She left her mama crying with her head in her hand. Such a sad case, so broken hearted. She said, Mama, gotta go, gotta get out of here, gotta get out of town, tired of hanging around, gotta roll on between the ditches. Just an ordinary story about the way things go, round and round, nobody knows, but the highway rolls on forever. That, you could make an argument that Oak Ridge Boys song there has more tempo, more beat, and sounds more rock than most Eagles songs. And I love me some Eagles. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because there you go. You know what? Good point, Busy Bee. Could we make an argument that Alabama sounds more rock in some of their songs than the Eagles? How about that? I will debate that right now. There are some Alabama songs. If you're going to put the Eagles in a classic rock, if Alabama was 10 years earlier, would you not consider Alabama classic rock? Oh, play me some mountain music like Grandma and Grandpa used to play, and I'll roll on down the river. Why? Because it's a mountain and it's a river, and it's got to be country because it's a mountain and a river? No. Alabama is basically the Eagles. They're the same thing. There's no difference. Just a different time frame. That's probably like my only one. That's like my one Alabama. Don't ask me for any more. But okay, here's another one. Eddie Rabbitt's country. Was Eddie Rabbitt considered a country music singer? Yes or no? Got some people on the fence with this. What do you mean nope? What do you mean nope? Windshield wiper, slapping out of tempo, keeping perfect rhythm with the song on the radio. Gotta keep it rolling. Waitress, pour me another cup of coffee. Sorry. That to me is more rock than half the Eagles songs. And again, if I compare Alabama or Eddie Rabbitt to Lion Eyes by the Eagles, there is no way Lion Eyes should have ever been considered a classic rock song. It's country. I don't think countryfy is either of a word, Nixie. You can't countryfy. It's just, look, and it was both sides. It was some rock, some country. There were a lot of singers that I think they did songs that, back then you either had to be country or rock. You had to have this classification. They did. And see, that's what makes Barry Gibb so amazing. I mean, Barry Gibb worked with, oh my God, you know all the people Barry Gibb worked with? If the Bee Gees would have done all the songs that he wrote, there would be little doubt that the Bee Gees probably would be the greatest band of all time. I mean, he gave so many of those songs away to other people that became hits. I would like to say I love Journey. I would say Journey was better than most. But again, there was a whole lot of bands in that Journey bucket, right? And then, I don't know. I mean, groups can't get along, and then they go out, they do some solo things. Now you're talking. Now Aerosmith, now that's a whole different conversation. I would certainly say, look, I know there's always the Beatles, Led Zeppelin. You could make an argument, a very good argument, Aerosmith, greatest band of all time. Based on whatever criteria you want to bring up. Total number of albums, the amount of time that they sang, the amount of top songs, the different style of music. They did Dream On, they did rap, they did Janie's Got a Gun, they did 70s well, they did 80s well, they did 90s well. Aerosmith, they did love songs, whatever, that love song from that space movie they did. I don't remember what it was, but it was really good. Yeah. Aerosmith and Steve Tyler. See, that gives you the voice, the unique voice. When you hear Steven Tyler, you know it's Steven Tyler. There's no doubt. No doubt who's singing. Yeah. Don't want to miss a thing, right? Was that what it was? There goes my old girlfriend. Well, there's another guy on a ring. And all those late night promises, I guess they don't mean a thing. That song, right? I mean, Aerosmith didn't have a lot of bad songs. But Steven Tyler just, so good. Unique, the whole package. Performer, songwriter, just unbelievable. Now, I don't want to get into that because I know it always comes down to songs, right? Satisfaction, Stairway to Heaven, they always greatest songs of all time. I think you could also make a very good argument for the Rolling Stones. You may not be Rolling Stones fans, but Mick Jagger also had the ability. I'm not just talking about showmanship. Staying power. So, I don't know. If you were to separate this from male vocalist and female, and we would start with male, I think you could make a strong case for Mick Jagger versus Steven Tyler. Yeah, well, see that's the thing, Kel, and that's the whole debate, right? It's not always a matter of whether you like them or you don't like them. If you look at the type of songs that the Rolling Stones did, you know, ooh 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 ooh, you know, they had that, and then Satisfaction, Angie. So I think just a lot of different types of music. I got to be honest, Dimes. It'd be hard for me to make a case for Rush. Because the only song I even like by Rush is Cold Fire. And that was after they weren't really Rush anymore, right? I mean, most people probably don't even know what that song is. But at least you guys can see the challenge. You can see what is the challenge of discussing various topics and accepting somebody else's point of view. It's gonna be tough because you may not like Rolling Stones, but if you had to make an argument of Rolling Stones versus maybe there's somebody else you don't like. Two people just said Creed, and I'm just kind of scratching my head, thinking, when you have the opportunity to discuss the greatest of all time, and you just want to throw mediocrity in there, I'm just kind of at a loss for words. That would be the equivalent. Putting Creed up there, Moonshot, would be the equivalent of saying greatest rappers of all time. Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and my favorite, Whitey Ford. Come on. Well, I really like Whitey Ford's songs. I think he has a good voice. I'm not talking about good. I'm talking about you have the opportunity to discuss the best of the best, not 500 different ones. Right? Let's do it. She liked to do the wild thing. Father Ron says, Tone Loc. I'm not dissing Eminem. I was dissing Whitey Ford. Or Wonder Mike. Wonder Mike. Paul Rubin. Greatest rappers of all time. You guys probably don't even know who those two people are. It's okay. Who just said White Snake? There was White Snake, White Lion, Great White. Does anybody, can you guys even tell them apart? Ready for the World? Mark Wahlberg was good. Or Lisa with Colt Jam in Full Force. Do I mean Donnie? No, I don't mean Donnie Wahlberg. I mean Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch. Can you feel it, baby? I can feel it too. Yeah, it's about that time to bring forth the rhythm and the rhyme. I'm going to get mine, so get yours. I want to see the sweat coming out your pores. You know Marky Mark. I will tell you, I thought Def Leppard was amazing. I don't think I'm going to give you Poison. Poison is Skid Row on steroids. They're slightly better than Skid Row. I know there's some big Sebastian Bach and some big Bret Michaels fans out there, but I don't, Poison, one could argue, half of Poison songs could have went in the country bucket too. I see him on the TV, preaching about the promised land. Tells me believe in Jesus, steals the money from my hand. I mean, talk dirty to me. They had their moments. But I mean, are we really going to remember Poison as rock? Every rose has its thorn, just like every night has its dawn, just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorn. Country, not rock. I mean, let's analyze this for a minute. What's the difference between country and rock? Give me a definition other than we pick and choose what we want and they pick and choose which audience they want to appeal to. What's the difference? Guns N' Roses? See, and that's kind of what I'm going. Like Guns N' Roses, look, okay, they can throw a song out there like Patience, but the mass majority of Guns N' Roses, leather pants and blue jeans, that's the difference. I'm not disagreeing with Nixie's assessment, but half the audience is not going to like that, so it's fine. So November Rain, slow rock. See, I think you could have country, rock, classic rock, and slow rock. And I certainly would not put November Rain in that category. Only because, it's got some, play the orchestra in the background, the piano. It does pick up the pace. And it was a trilogy to very good rock songs. Estranged, November Rain, and Don't Cry. Unbelievable trilogy. And one could argue that Coma was the fourth part of that trilogy. Although it's not official, Coma was rather amazing. Well, see, I think Van Halen's a good call out because you got Van Halen and you got Van Hagar. And certainly David Lee Roth, as much of a showman as you could ever have from that perspective. But would I put Van Halen and David Lee Roth up there with greatest vocalist? Nah. Even original Van Halen, great, but I wouldn't. I don't know David Lee Roth could be top 100 now. Lionel Richie. That's a tough one. I think Lionel Richie could be in the conversation. Yeah, I mean, it's good open chat, but God, we could make we're going to have to look at the format of this, because I think we're going to get into a debate, and then, oh my God, I think the floodgates are going to come out. Well, Busy Bee, when you say CCR, I'm assuming you mean John Fogerty. I would not, Julie, I would not put David Grohl up there in top 50 vocalist of all time. Yeah, sports could. I mean, we have people that can debate anything, Moon. But see, that's the thing. We could pick a topic and probably go on for hours and just talk about that topic. I'm going to run through the jungle. Moonshot saw a Kiss concert. Loved them ever since. You know, the thing is, I don't know. From a merchandise perspective, I know Kiss did well. I don't know. Maybe you guys can. I don't know if Kiss ever had a #1 song. I mean, it's kind of funny. Well, one of the most successful rock bands of all time. And in fact, I just looked it up. Kiss never even had a top 5 song. So, Jim, I would probably, maybe we disagree on this. I would have possibly put Eddie Vedder in some of the conversation. But I got to tell you, Yellow Ledbetter, just, yeah. I'm just not sure what the intent of that was. Like most Eddie Vedder, I like the song. I like the fact he's taken a stance. I like the remake of Last Kiss. But I would have rather he not do Yellow Ledbetter. One, nobody even knows like any lyric from the song Yellow Ledbetter. Somebody type some lyrics. Somebody type like just a line of something. I don't know, just 5 words. Not from a real song. Google is a wonderful thing. I don't know. It sounds like more like Bob Dylan. I don't know. Sorry, that was bad. I just turned Eddie Vedder into Bob Dylan. That was my best Yellow Ledbetter. I just thought it's in some part of it is like a box or a bag. Can you see them on the front porch? Yeah, they don't. Hey, yeah. Can you see them? I went to the grocery store and I don't know if I wanted a box or a bag. Yeah, that's Yellow Ledbetter. Something. To this day, I think I've even Googled the lyrics like 5 times and I still don't remember what he says. And usually I have a strong retention of lyrics to songs. Don't know. Just sorry. Yeah. Everybody, let's get stoned. You know, but then you got groups that have good singers that just didn't get enough. Like, because I brought up Bob Dylan, how about Jacob Dylan? I thought the Wallflowers. James Taylor, I'll give you that. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. Or Jim Croce. Oh, how come nobody ever mentions Jim Croce? Well, I know it's kind of late. I hope I didn't wake you. But what I gotta say can't wait. I know you'd understand. Jim Croce's an amazing voice. Every time I tried to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I have to say I love in a song. See, exactly. Jim Croce, maybe he'd go in that Stevie Nicks bucket. Uptown's got its hustlers and the Bowery's got its bum. 42nd Street got Big Jim Walker. He's a pool shooting son of a gun. He's big and dumb as a man can come. Strong as a country horse. I don't know. I mean, all of them were good. It was all like a ballad, though. Ballads were the thing. Leroy Brown, Don't Mess Around with Slim. Time in a Bottle. Time in a Bottle is amazing, I think. There never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find. Just some great lyrics. Very powerful lyrics. I thought we've done some pretty good conversations around best bands, best groups. I love Hall & Oates, but I wouldn't put Hall & Oates up there. They had a lot of good songs for their era, but do I think that Daryl Hall is one of the greatest singers of all time? No, but I will say this. I don't know if anybody mentioned Simon and Garfunkel. Paul Simon. Now, say what you want. Maybe a lot of people don't like him personally, but Paul Simon was a pretty amazing songwriter, had a lot of hits, and actually sang pretty well. I think he checked most of the boxes. man, holy cow. It's 11 o'clock. Wow, what a long debate. See what happens when we start debating topics? All right, well, I'll try to tie this into one of our streams. So we didn't get to the matches tonight. We will do the matches tomorrow night. And again, I know this is a separate stream. So those of you that picked up all the bundles, the grenade bundles, everything tonight, I will I'll get those added to your inventory tomorrow as well. Been a while since we had like a freestyle topic. So but I'll get inventories out to everybody tomorrow. And we will not do a Walking Dead chat tomorrow because we got a great match. And then we got a big, big Friday night. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. And, hopefully we had a good time just chilling. And thank you for Albert. Welcome to the family. Appreciate you being here. Congratulations on being in Vox. So I know you're fairly new to the channel, but we do some PvP. We have great Friday nights. Walking Dead chat. Just a little bit of everything. So appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm going to go hang out with the 3Gs for a little bit. Spend a little bit of time with my kittens. And because about 11 o'clock, Gabe starts getting a little crazy. He starts knocking things in the floor that he wants me to give him. So appreciate you guys being here. Have a good night. I will see you guys tomorrow night at about, we'll do it about 8:45. Sounds good. So talk to you then. Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon, everybody. Peace.